or are you just coping? Maybe that's where you're at right now. Maybe leadership feels heavy. Maybe you've been stretched, you've been exposed. Maybe you've been forced to face parts of yourself you didn't want to deal with. If that's you, this episode is for you because today I am talking with Tom Pabin, author of Squeezed, and we're getting into what pressure does to a leader, how to stop wasting hard seasons. It might not be a bad thing. How do you come through the squeeze with more purpose and strength and more to give? Tom Pabin, welcome
Hi,
to Leadership Live, my man.
glad to be here. This is exciting. Thank you for having me.
Tom, what if you were to look at what it is, the problem, the big problem you are trying to solve right now on the face of the planet? You're doing it through books, you're doing it through talks, you're doing it. You made a big shift in what you're doing. What's the problem that Tom is wrestling to the ground these days?
Probably relishing that pressure, right? I mean, nobody wants to be uncomfortable in their life or risk assets if you're in business or try to go out on a limb. But as we say here, that's where the fruit is, right? I mean, out on that limb. And so you got to do that. And so relishing that, we all go through different things, right? In our lives. And sometimes there's natural squeezes that happen to us because life happens. And so when you're in those things, kind of coming out of those with this new appreciation, right? You kind of go to another level in your life of understanding or awareness or whatever it might be. So every time it's a great opportunity to move your life forward. And if you're a better person, then you're going to be a better business person or a better leader. But it's always trying to work on the individual and relishing that pressure.
Helping people step into pressure. Now, come on, man. I gotta admit, most of us, myself included, like we think we want to be on the beach. We think we don't want to be solving problems, but we're lost without him. But a lot of us are running from the pressure. Why should we be relishing it? And when did you figure that part of it out? Because that's not natural.
Yeah, it's inevitable, first of all, right? I mean, I lost my mom when I was young and my father 29 years ago. So you have those natural squeezes that happen in life. So those are different types of things. And we get in more trouble when we do run away from those different types of things and instead of just leaning on our lemonade team, right? And those are the people in your life that's kind of helping to build you up or the people that you surround yourself with, right? And so you want to be able to have that. So most people have a family, right? And then you have other people, right, in your life, your best friends or your associates or somebody at work or maybe a certain type of marketing group that you're a part of, right? I mean, and you can lean on these people. So I need as many of those in my life. And when they happen, um, right, everybody needs somebody. And so there's going to be a time in their life where, I can give, and there's times I'm going to have to be a good receiver of people's grace and people's love or support or whatever it might be. And so just understanding it's okay, right? I mean, it's part of growth. But again, you come out of it with a new appreciation, right?
Yeah.
And so now you become more of a genuine person. And so that genuineness leads to being a better listener or a better person in your life and in your heart. And so again, it's about personal growth before anything else growth, before financial growth, before right being a better father and whatever it might be.
I, I I love that take. It is interesting that a lot of, maybe it's the social media culture or whatever. We just
Yeah,
look for what's bright and beautiful. But I say you want to find a leader, you probably want to find someone who has a limp or a scar or they've been
right.
messed up because
Yeah,
they got squeezed somewhere.
that's right. That's
Uh,
right. Yeah, amen to that. Right. I mean, because then they've been through it, and so it just then you can identify with people.
yeah.
People that avoid it, right? You can't really you can't really understand and so if you're going through the same types of things, so us parents go through the same, right? Our kids go to school and then they go to college or whatever they do after high school, and then they leave, right? I mean, 90% of our time with our kids is why they're in our house, right? And then the other 10% is the whole rest of their life. But it's only 10%, right? So we have that time to be that great model for kids, or ourselves, or your spouse. And so Squeezed really isn't just about being in business, though. That was a big part of where I learned it the most. But it's also about families. It's also about your faith life. It's also about a variety of different other things that we all just need to be, we need to get better. So there's a chapter in the book I love. It's Donnie. And it's probably one of my most famous quotes, right? And it's casualness causes casualties. And
Oh,
and
tell us
and, and
about that. What is what is
yeah.
what is that, Tom? What do you
Well, I
mean
mean,
by
think about the things that you're casual with in your life, right? Many of us 40, 50-year-olds wake up one day, like I have, right, and say, oh my gosh, my health isn't where it needs to be, right? I've been casual about this. Or maybe it's something with your wife, right? Divorce doesn't happen because of one argument. It happens over years of bad communication or no communication or whatever. You were probably casual about, some things, or your business, right? So again, where the energy goes, the progress grows, right? And so if you put that energy into right communication and into improvement and into, hey, let's do something different, right? And something different allows you to experience a new part of life. That's why I love diversity. That's why I love people from different nationalities and different countries or religions, because I learn so much, right? Just learning from them. I don't avoid them because they're not like me. I love them because they're not like me.
oh man.
And so that's huge. And then you just become a better person, right? It's like only going to Florida for vacation when there's California and other countries and Colorado and stuff like that. Imagine how much you limit yourself by only just going to Florida every summer or whatever it is, right? Which is great, but there's other parts too. There's other states and other wonderful places to visit.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I want to there's if you could give us like maybe the high up view or maybe the accordion view
Sure,
of like there is I'm curious because I'm just a student of watching people find their calling
sure.
and watching like going through the book and then watching kind of sales career to sales career to to this to meeting and then all you're kind of accidentally find yourself with the with youth and then magic happens. Can you bring us to how Tom found his calling through and
Yeah.
some of it was pressure.
I'll give you the shortened version of
Yeah.
it. It is in the book there, but I was in my mid 20s and I was a financial advisor and a youth minister on the weekends, right? And I couldn't wait to every weekend not to go out and party, but to hit church and hang out with kids. And so what happened is again, my mom passed away when I was young, and my dad 29 years ago got sick up in Ohio. I'm in Kentucky, and so I went up to help take care of my dad. Spent the best 5 months of my life with my dad. And my dad passed away. I'm in my mid 20s. My parents, grandparents, godparents all passed away. I said to what anybody would say, life is short. Oh, and I decided right then and there to give my life to teenagers, believe it or not. And so now I thought that was going to be at my church. And so I started getting involved in that. And I did youth ministry for 9.5 years. But I realized, gosh, I wasn't going to have all those normal things like a house and a wife and a dog and those things. So we had a young lady in our youth ministry program that needed help on her college planning. And so I said, well, her mom said, well, she'll listen to you. You're her youth minister. And so I said, well, okay. So I met with this girl at a restaurant here. It's a company actually just filed bankruptcy, I think, but called Fazoli's here in town. And we went to Fazoli's and would have breadsticks and talk about college. And that's how it all got started. And then I just built that, right? And here's the most amazing thing. So I did that for 2 or 3 years, found out there was a big need that parents needed somebody else besides themselves, right? That was going to be this college planner because they're doing the teenage thing, right? They're not communicating with parents, right? They're trying to be their own person. Us parents are trying to be over controlling, right? And so we step in and kind of be that mentor for young people during high school and help them go through college planning. 4, 5, 6 years later, somebody said, hey, you ought to franchise this. So it took me all the way to year 10 And at year 10, I started the franchise. I had a 10-year model. So I had all my systems down. And so, and it took me 5 years, right, to open up the first 5 locations. Now I have a 15-year model, 5 locations, and then we opened up three more and three more and four more the next year, and seven and 13
Wow.
and three, and boom, 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 boom. Next thing we had 50 locations in 31 different states.
Wow. And
And
on
we
the
became
franchise top 500 there.
yeah. So 31 states, right? We're the country's largest college planning firm. And here's part of the book: largest college planning firm in the country, because the team all got together and did this, together. But I've never been to college, and right,
How
and
many
I've never
students have
done
you helped?
franchising.
How many students have you
But
helped?
the old Zig Ziglar quote says, right, if you're not willing to learn, nobody can help you. But if you really do want to learn, right, if you're determined to learn, nobody can stop you. And so I was just determined to learn. And it goes to show you, even with this book, um, I would consider the book to be my 79th best gift, right?
Mm.
Is writing. I'm not a writer at all. Now, it's not Shakespeare, so nobody get disappointed when you read it. But it goes to show you, if you're determined to learn, you can do anything, because there's no logical reason why the largest college planning firm, right, should belong to the company that we built. Now, I sold that 4 years ago, and I still have my local franchise. So I was a franchisee, franchisor, and now I'm a franchisee again, and do college planning here in Lexington, Kentucky. So that's the
Oh,
short version of it. It's just been this whirlwind, 28 years of my life work, now put together, and it's just been this amazing ride. We were in the franchise 500 in 2020. So we were 441, but we made the list. And we were in the franchise 500. So just blessing. I mean, but again, right? The book will tell you don't do that alone, right? You got to find the people that also have that passion, that want to do together, that also want to learn. And we were just doing it all together. And so the power of having a team, and the right people in the right seats, and putting those people in there and letting them grow and become better, and that's what you get. And then you get a nationwide company. And we were running it on a small team, and millions and millions of dollars of college planning.
love it. We're going to get into the leadership stuff here in a second. I got to tell you, my favorite part about that, and maybe we can go here before we jump into like some of the strategic stuff you did. But we were having a conversation earlier before we get on about everyday opportunities, and I just love the fact that you were a financial advisor, and you're doing just stuff with the youth in the church, and all of a sudden those two worlds overlapped. You had no idea, but really it was just you having an awareness of an everyday
Yeah.
opportunity. Can you talk to us a little bit
Yeah. I mean,
about those?
I always would say about myself, it's not about IQ, it's about I can, right? And so it's about what you can do in your life. So each of us wake up each day. It's kind of like this Bill of Rights, right? We have an equal opportunity to show how unequal we want to be, right? And so that's what we're blessed. So we have these opportunities, right? Because we can go to school, you can get online. It's never been better than what it is now. You have a massive market that's going to be built in AI. Any young person that wants to take advantage of that could be amazed and be rich beyond their dreams if they wanted to get in the AI world and really got serious about that. There's just so many particular opportunities, and you don't have to be some gifted intellectual or whatever. You could be a traditional, normal person, right? That's just willing to learn and grow, and be understanding, and understand, and relish the pressure. But there's so many opportunities. If you're in a franchise right now, there's probably somebody in that franchise system that makes 150 or 200 or 250,000, and you have that opportunity if you're in the game, right? So if you're in the game, then you can get that opportunity to grow your income into that, or to make a difference, right? Our company just had that rare combination where we could make a difference, right? The ROEI, the return on emotional investment, We were the number one company, still are the number one company in the country. Sorry, Mr. Disney, right? On the ROEI, return on emotional investment. Because when you invest a year, 2, 3, 4 years with I had a young guy last night. We celebrated his commit party. 5 years I worked with him on his college planning since his eighth grade year. And
Wow.
what a celebration we had last night. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
After 5 years.
So man, I really want to go into some of the. Here's the thing. I know, Tom, that some of the people watching, we have kids that are in that age. So I do want
Right.
to ask those questions just because you have a very unique set of skills. But I'm also one of the things that, as I was reading through the book, that I thought was cool was how you learned how to not celebrate self. And I felt like you had a really practical way of just like uplifting others, and all of a sudden, like it raised the tide for all of the
Yeah.
folks, like your franchisors or franchisees. Like, can you tell us about the Hall of Fame? And
Yeah. Right. Well, and I created that right before I left my executive role with the company, right? Because I wanted people to know that an idea they had, like that guy in Cincinnati, Ohio, that came up with the filet of fish sandwich during Lent, right? I mean, he changed McDonald's menu, right? So we had those people too, right? That had a certain color they donated or suggested to our business, a certain type of testing maybe that was done, or a platform, or maybe it was a certain concept of outstanding leadership, or outstanding service, as what we would call it. And so I decided to do a Hall of Fame, right? These people were just as influential. Yeah, maybe I or our team or whatever came up with most of the ideas, but these ideas are still in our company to this day, and they needed to be recognized. By the way, so does everybody every day. So when you walk into my office, right, I'm going to be waving, I'm going to be saying hi. And so we have, again, outstanding hospitality, because it starts with that. That's where love starts, right? With a wave and a smile. And I'm
ooh,
going to say, hey, I want to be part of your day. And I'm going to greet you like that. And I'm going to make you feel special today, because you wear the sign, Donnie, and the sign says, make me feel special today. So I'm going to make you feel special somehow, some way. Smile, talk about how cool your hat is, whatever it is, right? That's what I'm going to talk about, right? Because I want people to feel special today. So if I can make them feel special, if I can recognize them, if I can put them in front of me, right? If that's that servant leadership, go last. Let everybody else go first,
all
right?
right.
And put them first.
Listen up, guys. Like I love, by the way, direct quote, love starts with a wave and a smile. I love that. But Tom, like everyone's gonna say, of course it works. It works with kids. You're gonna make, but you were working with grown adults that didn't have to necessarily follow you
Yeah.
in like these franchisees. Um, how did that transfer from youth to to grown people running businesses?
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
I
how
think
do
you
you
did
want to be
have that.
greeted, right? When you walk up to any business, would you want somebody to open the door? Would you want Bruno Mars playing, and you got some energy? Notice I commented on your music, right? I mean, it's great. You'll hear one of my theme songs as we leave today, right? And so that music, right? Because everybody loves music, everybody loves energy. So we have a networking group that I've been part of, right? Same concept though, right? Energy, waving, hospitality, and people are attracted to that. And this networking group has blown up in the last 18 months. It's simply because we treated people like they wanted to. We have right accountability and expectations, and we were able to grow this because of energy and smiling and way. All adults, no kids there. Um, but that's why Lenny exists, right? Lenny is what we all want to be, joyful.
Is this Lenny? Who's Lenny?
There's
Oh,
Lenny. Yeah. You got a
okay.
Lenny sticker. There's only 5 people that have those, don't you? You got one.
Ah,
Make me
yes.
feel special
Love it.
today.
Love
And so, right. And so, but Lenny is, right. So he's our mascot, but he's also, because we all want to be happy and we all want to be givers instead of takers, right? That's so hard. Every time I've been screwed up in my life, I did something bad. It's because when I was looking inward, I was only looking at myself.
Mm,
And I compromised something because of my selfishness. And
mm.
so that's what happened. And so now I just try to really look at people with that they wear this sign, that they want to be a better person, and sometimes they don't, or sometimes they're not ready for that. That's okay. I'll come back to you, right? I'll hit you the next time around. And so timing plays a role, but most of the time, I met a lady the other day. We did an interview, a Zoom interview with her, and I could smell her genuineness. I mean, she was just such a genuine person, right? I literally said, "This is so refreshing because I can feel you're such a great person." Right. And she's doing business and her business, she has all the business she wants because no kidding. Right. I mean, because she's authentic. Those
Amazing. I
people
think
out there and that are all about them and narcissists and all these other people, it just doesn't work. It never has, never will.
I, I wonder if some of that, and sometimes we sit on the sidelines waiting for permission or maybe afraid of whatever. And I agree with you, Tom. I think it's like we're looking at ourselves instead of like, give someone else what you yourself want to feel. And it's like
Right.
I really do believe that business is a way for us to express experience, like to help to bring an experience to other people, to basically
Right.
use our God-given gifts in service of other people. But I love that you not only do that for the end user. There's something I thought was really cool that you did, and I think a lot of us could do, should do right now if things are changing every day. Did you do that AI? Did you do this AI? Or are you following up with this? But you really had a way that you used your culture to create ideas, and like I thought that was
Sure.
something that some of us could lift your blueprint from
Yeah.
and bring it to our world. Talk to us about
Yeah,
your
a good idea
idea.
never interrupts your day, right? A good idea comes when two people get together and they say, "Hey, I got this idea," and then I add to it, and then you add that back onto that idea, and then all of a sudden it mushrooms into something great, right? Throw two or three or four people in there, and it's going to grow. Now, that's the start, right? Then you have books, and you have people that you learn. That's what I hope about the book. Um, I hope that people get it and then they take it and use it, right? Because we read so many wonderful books. There's amazing books out there, but then we don't implement the stuff in the book into our lives, right? And so then we just read a book instead of, right, literally change the narrative of knowledge, right? And understanding. So we promote a culture of feedback, right? And so ideas matter. People have good ideas, right? And by the way, a lot of the franchisees, when I was the they gave me ideas we already had, right? I mean,
Right.
maybe 60-70% of them are bad, but you notice the Hall of Fame showed that some people did bring some ideas and we used them. And they grew our company. So those people needed to be recognized, right? And that's all. So feedback matters, right? Having a mentor matters. I mean, think about how many business owners right now, if you're listening to this, you're a business owner. Do you have a mentor? Right? We will, Donnie, right after this call. Lady sitting here in the office, we're going to evaluate this phone call. We're going to evaluate this thing. Every day is an evaluation. Every meeting is an evaluation. Every networking meeting or every presentation should be evaluated. What can I have done better? Right? I mean, so kind of with that, so evaluation, mentors, because they see things about you that you refuse to see. Right? I mean, we're blind to what we really need to work on. Right? That reasoning and justification takes over in our lives, and so we in our mind we make ourselves believe that we can't, right, we can't do better. That's why one of my pet peeves is somebody who says I'm trying my best. Really? How do you know what your best is, right? I mean, Goggins would say, right, when you think you're
Uh,
in the best shape of your life, you can do 40% better, right?
yeah.
So there's just other levels, and people, just really discount their ability to try to really get to those other levels, and that's through other people. That's through Team Lemonade. That's through sharing, right? And that's through giving, right? And the networking group I'm in is BNI, and we talk about givers gain, right? And there's a whole concept to that, and people are worried about what they're getting, right? And what, yeah, the more they give, the more they'll get, right? And it's just like that in our world. It's so simple. The book says it. We could run a business, we can run our lives on just the stuff we already know. Honesty is the best policy. Treat people like you want to be treated, right? Right. And you can just go through all those basic sayings. And if you just, that's why my next book might be, right, business cliches, right? Because you can't have your cake and eat it too. Some business owners want to be business owners, but they want to act like a business owner, right? And so that's all part of it. So we just a culture of sharing ideas, of evaluation. Our team members here, our newest team member, every 3 months gets an evaluation. She starts it, and then we do the second part. And growth, 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 growth. And now, and in a year, 2, 3 years, she'll be this amazing business person in our business, right?
I love, yeah, all of that. I'm curious, by the way, you remind me of another guy who wears yellow. Do you know Jesse Cole?
I do not. No, Jesse Cole?
Oh
No.
my gosh, yeah. Well, maybe it's the yellow, but you think a lot of like Jesse Cole is the owner of the Savannah Bananas,
Oh,
and
okay.
he
Hence the yellow. Yes.
one of the things that he would, and he wrote a book called Finding Your Yellow Tux. Everywhere he goes, he's just wearing a yellow tux. But everything well, one of the things that reminds me of parallels between you is that he would basically have like idea sessions where he has people come up with ideas, and again, like most of them are junk,
Right.
but some
Yeah.
are okay. And it's just like there's such a fostering of buy-in. I think it depressurizes, by the way,
Right.
people. It removes us from our aloneness, and I think it also opens us up to innovation of what can be. What would you say? Like I noticed, like all around you, we talked about music. I'm sure there's smells. I
Mm.
see books. I see what's his name? What's the lemon?
Lenny.
Lenny. I see
Lenny. Yeah.
Lenny. We got these things all over. I'm assuming that you are like what are the ideas that your team has come up with, or other people have come up with, that have increased the volume of your experience in your office, your
Whew.
business.
Um, Sometimes it's not sometimes it's finding them, right? I mean, I think one of the most amazing concepts that we implemented in our business was the EOS, right? Which is the Entrepreneur Operating System by Gino Wickman. Going to a convention, finding that, hearing about it for years, and then implementing it into our business and running the EOS, right? I mean, somebody asked me about starting a charity for veterans, right? A very worthwhile thing. Did
Hmm.
you know there's 80,000 charities right now for veterans, right? So it's probably already out there, right? Of what you want, right? So it's probably doesn't need to be in. It just needs to be discovered, not invented, right? And so that's what you. So you just got to be able to be open-minded and put yourself in a position to, listen to podcasts or go to seminars or hear a speaker and then take that information and let it build onto it, right? It's about adding to something that's already good, like a condiment, right? You add to something already pretty good, right? And so that's what you do. So just be ketchup in the world, and then you'll be good.
I love it. Be ketchup in the world. That's that.
Maybe that's my
I'm
next
taking
book.
that one
Book
forward.
number 3.
Yeah,
Be the
we got 6
ketchup in the
food
world.
groups, right? I mean, we've covered. I want to bring you into your zone of genius, and I want to think about leaders out there that
Yeah.
either they have teens, and by the way, teens like are in their 20s these days.
Yeah.
Teens don't just mean teenagers anymore, but they've got to help them find direction. Maybe they're floundering, or maybe they believe, like I think you and I do, that a part of our job as leaders is to help our people connect with their purpose in life.
Yeah.
But how can we bring someone from floundering to clarity? What are some Tom Pabin go-to moves, if there is such
Um,
a
I always hoped my kids would get a flat tire, right? So they would have to pull over and be in a hopefully safe spot, and they would have to change their own tire, right? And so, right, in other words, right, we comfort, right, our kids, and we comfort
Oh,
ourselves. And
oh.
so if they're not in a position to grow somehow, some way, then they don't have these experiences, and then when it hits them, they're not prepared for it, right? So So again, the squeeze, right? Feel the pressure, find your purpose. You're going to find something else about yourself. It internally, there's this, right? A giant within you, and it wants to come out, but most of us aren't necessarily willing to kind of be relentless. You got to be relentless. I mean, if you really want the highest level, it's going to take a big amount of work, right? And it might be years or decades, right? Gladwell says 10,000 hours, right? To become a master in something, right? So you got to put the time in. But if you do that and adjust and tweak and evaluate and have mentors to move you forward, now, in my normal day, in the intensity of my day is not like a normal 8-hour day. I might do 9, 10, 11 hours, but then the intensity will make it seem like an 18 or a 20 hour. Now, I do that times 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week, and I'm just right getting so far out in front of my competition. And so it's about putting yourself in a position to grow, understanding that if you fail, it's okay, right? We're all failures, right? Where none of us are perfect, right? And so, and say, hey, I'm sorry, or I made a mistake if you got to, and have outstanding communication, right? If we all had outstanding communication, our lives would be so much better, right? In our businesses, in being a leader, in clarity, in our relationships, outstanding communication. So I would say challenge yourself, right? So challenge, be courageous, and be committed to growth. The three
What
C's.
the three C's? What are the questions that we should be asking, Tom, to help people to desire those things, or to again point
Yeah.
towards purpose? We can all be
Yeah.
going, where everyone else is going, but what are the questions you would
The
say?
question is are you making lemonade? Right? Meaning, are you using the ideas in the book? One of the ideas is called absence of option gives you power, right? We all experienced that probably with the tax deadline, right? We
Yeah.
had a deadline. We didn't want to miss it. It gave us this power to get it done. We had no choice. We had to get it done by that date. And guess what? You do. My book it took 15 months, right? 221 hours to write the book. But it really happened when I started to meet with our focus group every Wednesday.
Mm,
I got to tell you how many Tuesday nights I spent the night like sleeping at the office, right, trying to get stuff because I knew that group was going to be meeting with me on Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock. And it
mm.
made me
Yep.
do it. We
Yep.
need to be made to do it. If we do that, then we will do it. It's the whole burn the ships, right? I mean, when
Mm,
you have no option, you will do it. So that's making lemonade, right? Avoiding the rabbit holes, right? Controlling the rabbit, we call it, right? We all get distracted with different things on our phones and so on, right? Bad gravity, right? That's a chapter in the book called Bad Gravity. And sometimes that bad gravity is family. That's even tougher because it's
mm,
harder to get away from those humans, right? So that's okay. You just eliminate your as maybe not as much time, or you try to be as positive you can, or whatever. But bad gravity exists. You got to surround yourself with people that lift you higher. That's an Oprah quote, not mine. But right, and so but that's what you have to do. If you're surrounding yourself with people that lift you higher, you're challenging yourself. You're not casual about things. You have some intensity while you work. I mean, think what you can accomplish right there. And that's only right 4 of the 8 or 10 chapters in Making Lemonade. And then when you get it, share it, right?
love
Share,
it.
share, share.
Tom, I want to ask you. I want you to imagine what we're gonna go through, and then I want you to tell us where we can find you and
Just,
how we can connect with you. But I want you to imagine, Tom, you have right now every single person that feels like they are in the pressure cooker, right? They are
yeah,
getting squeezed. Maybe they want to run, maybe they want to hide, whatever. And I want you to imagine you had one program that you could upload into him, just like Neo got the program and it was there, and he knew he was a black belt immediately. If you had one program to put into all of those people who were in the pressure cooker, what would that program be? And then tell us how we can find you, my man.
yeah. I would say to believe. right? In the middle of the believe word is the word lie. Most of us believe lies that aren't necessarily true about ourselves. It's the mental side. It's the mental anxiety in our world. It's the fear. It's the lie in the middle of believe. But if you just believe in yourself and know that it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to and be okay with yourself, and have that faith, right? We all have the things that we believe in, but believe in those things, and believe in your higher powers or whatever it is. But if you have that, then you have everything you need.
Tom, where can we find you, my friend? Read the book.
TomPabin.com. You can find a copy of the Squeeze book. If you've read the book already, please leave me some feedback. I'd love to hear what you liked, what you didn't like, what I thought I could expand on. You can write a review. If you would like to have me come speak, I'd love to be able to do that. And do some trainings. I'm going to be doing some coaching starting here in May, June, July, kicking it off this summer with different businesses that want to hopefully lean on some of this experience or leaned on being squeezed. But TomPabin.com, and you'll go there. You'll see Lenny. You'll see me, and it will move your life forward.
Well, Lenny and Tom, thank you for helping us to know that we need to be to catch up, add ourselves to something that's already good. We don't have to run from this difficulty that's in front of us. It's actually revealing, it's actually here for us, revealing something in us that we can step into the challenge with courage and with clarity. And thank you for making us all 5% better today, Tom Pabin. You are the man. Thank you for bringing the thunder. And guys out there and gals out there who are leading your people, listen, we can lead better. We can live better, and Tom has helped us to do both. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day, everybody.